Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a really exciting one for me, and especially for all of you guys out there who love the TV show The 100 as much as I do. This is going to be my season 3 premiere reaction video, and I'm really excited because I've never done one of these before. I did a theories video back when the book City of Heavenly Fire was about to come out. I did a theories video on that, but I've never done a reaction video before, so this should be a lot of fun, and I really hope that you guys enjoy it as much as I did. As I'm sure you guys can tell by both the caption and the description, this will not be a spoiler-free video. Obviously, I'm going to be talking a lot about the episode and all of the factors therein, and because I'm filming it at a time when I think most people have already seen the episode, I don't really feel the need to keep spoilers out, because the whole episode is a spoiler for itself, if that makes sense. So just be aware that if you're watching this, you are going to get spoiled. So if you haven't watched the show and you have an interest in keeping yourself spoiler free, do not watch this video. You've been warned. I actually watched the season premiere twice. I watched it on the airing date of Thursday, January 21st. When it came out, my sister and I were glued to the TV waiting for it to come on, and then I also watched it again last night, Friday night, with my mom, because she wanted to watch it, but we always watch episodes first to tell her if they're too bloody, because she really doesn't like blood and stuff. So we watched it with her on the CW's website with closed captions and all of that. And you actually miss a lot of the show if you don't watch it with closed captions. My sister and I figured that out, but it could just be that we're both, it's hard for us to hear sometimes, so we had closed captions and we realized, oh hey, we missed some stuff last night. Okay, cool. So I did watch it twice, which is why I was able to remember a whole bunch of that stuff, so yeah. Even if you guys have already watched the episode on TV when it aired, I highly recommend you go to the CW's website and watch it, because the more people watch it on the website, the more the ratings increase, and if the ratings increase, that means we get more seasons, and we all want more seasons of The 100, so you guys should definitely do that if you would like to help boost the CW's ratings, because that's a good thing. The show needs more seasons because my OTPs are not together. I don't really know how to do this sort of video, so I'm just going to kind of go through each storyline consecutively, because I don't really know how else to do this, so just bear with me. It's probably going to be a mess of a video, but I'm going to try to make it entertaining, so let's get started. So there are 3 basic storylines as season 3 unfolds. There's Clark's storyline, in which she has left Camp Jaha and she's been on her own for the past 3 months. There's Camp Jaha's story, and I guess it's been renamed from Camp Jaha to Arcadia, which is kind of weird because in the 100 books, Arcadia was the name of one of the ARC stations. That just seems kind of odd to me. It's a nice little nod to the books, which I appreciate because I liked the books, but it's just kind of weird at the same time because, I don't know. Arcadia means, utopia, and Arcadia is not utopia. Let's just make that clear. Also, whoever came up with that is very punny. I see what you did there, because they spell it A-R-K-A-D-I-A. So there's the Camp Jaha storyline, there's Clark's storyline, and then there is the Jaha/Allie/John Murphy storyline, where they went to the desert, and the last time we saw our heroes prior to season 3, Jaha left Murphy and found a mansion with an artificial intelligence unit who presented him with a nuclear warhead and said something really cryptic about having work to do on it. Meanwhile, Murphy found a bunker with a bunch of alcohol and crackers and a video of a guy committing suicide with a gun. So, Clark's storyline. I was surprised to see her hair. I was surprised to see her, how she looked. I kind of knew that was coming because, I saw the season 3 teaser that dropped right before Christmas. But it was really weird to see how much she had changed. Because when I think Clark, I don't think half the things that she did as, being congruent with her character. I'm not saying she was out of character. It's just weird because she's, there's something, she seems so empty inside. It's like something scooped out her insides, and now she's this, shell. Which I understand because, she hates herself. She killed all these people and she left in part to punish herself, I think. And so I kind of got that. I was kind of surprised that her life took the turn that it did. Realistically, I didn't expect her to be on her own, hunting and then going to a trading post to trade. I honestly thought that she would, carve out a way to live on her own, entirely, like a hermit of sorts. Never interact with anybody and hunt for her own food. Stuff like that. So I guess it makes more sense from the big picture perspective to think of her interacting with other people, but it just never occurred to me because Clark doesn't really know much about the Grounder Society. Like, Lexa didn't teach her anything, and Lincoln, as far as we know, didn't teach her anything. So I guess I really didn't see that coming. I was such a fan of all the Tradita slang in the show. Like, entire dialogues were happening in this Grounder language, and that made me so happy because I love fictional languages. I've adored them since I was a kid. Like, I invented my own language when I was a child, and it was really poorly done. I still have the little journal dictionary thing that I made, though, but yeah, so I was a big fan of all the Tradita slang in the show, and I really like this, like, dictionary that I think it's fan-made that somebody made about that language with, like, translations and stuff, so I kind of, like, use that for my own fan fiction. Shh, don't tell anybody, I'm just kidding. Everyone knows I use it, but I was really a fan of all that, but I was also kind of wondering how Clark learned to speak that proficiently. I mean, I get that 3 months, like, in immersion, 3 months is a fairly ample amount of time to learn that much of an entirely different dialect. I just kind of wonder how, because it doesn't seem like she had enough contact with people on a day-to-day basis to be fully immersed in the Grounder language, but I hope that gets expounded on because it seems like kind of a gap to me. I mean, it seems from what I inferred in the show, she kind of, like, lived on her own and then occasionally killed things and went to trade with Nyla. Like, I don't know, but I'm just wondering how she learned to speak so proficiently. You'd think in 3 months' time she would be able to converse, but be, like, halting in her speech. Does that make sense? Like, I took Spanish for 3 months. My 3-month-long Spanish class was fairly immersive. I could ask questions in English, but I was mostly speaking in Spanish with my instructor. At the end of the course, I wasn't fluent by any means, but I could hold a sane, rational conversation with someone who spoke Spanish on the street, and I did that at my job a lot. So I kind of just don't understand that part. I don't mean to be picky. I'm not trying to be that guy, but I was just sort of things that I thought of while I was watching the show. I was like, oh, that's kind of weird, but okay. Richard Harmon's sister, who played Nyla, I was really impressed with her. She reminds me a little bit of her brother, just like in how she moves and talks. It was kind of weird just because I knew they were related, but she seems like a lovely girl, and she's such a good actress, and I'm really impressed. Like, that entire family is like, y'all are talented. Like, I mean, their dad is I think he's a director or a producer, and he's really good at what he does, and of course Richard is really good at what he does, and so is Jessica. It was really cool. But Clark and Nyla, let's talk about them for a second. So I can kind of understand why Clark would get with somebody else. I totally get it. It's very obvious to me that Nyla thinks that Clark, as the one-heada, did a good thing with the mountain. But what I don't understand is how come, you think that Nyla would go, put the dots together and go, Clark is out here in the middle of nowhere away from her people. She doesn't seem to know that she's this being called the one-heada that everybody's hunting for. Maybe I shouldn't talk about what happened to the mountain because maybe she's running away from it. I mean, maybe that seems like a bit of a stretch, but anyone looking at Clark could see that she was hunted. I'd also like to know how she got that tracking bracelet. Like, that was from season 1. And as far as I know, any of the kids that took them off, they got burned, like, because Bellamy was a tyrant at that point. So I'm kind of wondering how Nyla got that. If she turns out to be a Sky Kid, I'm gonna have a heart attack, because that's, like, it's a plot twist, but frankly, I wouldn't like, be against it. It's just, like, Anyway, getting back to Clark's storyline, so I know the I know Asgad is looking for her. We know that. I mean, the Ice Nation's been hunting her for who knows how long, but I want to know who Roan is. Roan was the guy who showed Nyla the picture of Clark. I'd like to know who Roan is and why he's looking for her. He didn't have white war paint on, so we can assume he's not Asgada, but I want to know who he is and what he wants with her. On Twitter, it was teased that, like, in future episodes, Jason Rothenberg said that it could be seen that, you know, Clark and Roan might have a romantic connection, and I'm just sitting here going, absolutely not. Also, isn't it kind of creepy that Roan, like, hung out outside the trading post waiting for Clark to come out? Like, dude, he witnessed Clark and Nyla getting it on. Like, bro, walk away and come back. Like, ew. I don't know. That's gross. I mean, I get that the Grounders are, like, they don't see that as, like, a big deal, but that's kind of gross. Like, dude. Okay, moving on to the Camp Jaha storyline. I'm still calling it Camp Jaha. When I hear Arcadia, I don't think Camp Jaha. So Camp Jaha is what it still is. Plus, I just pretend it's named after Wells, who deserved much better than what he got. But, so, the Camp Jaha storyline. The car scene was amazing. I was so happy to see my kids, like, being kids. I mean, especially, like, you know, Miller's valiant attempt to cheer Monty up. I was really, I was grinning. I was beaming during the entire scene because my kids, they're having fun. Jasper Jordan. Yikes. Honestly, I didn't expect Jasper to be drinking all the time. I expected tensions between him and Monty to run high, but I honestly thought that they would do like that teenage boy thing of like freezing each other out and trying to one-up each other all the time. I did not expect Jasper to be that out of control. It kind of makes me sad because I feel like Monty deserves better. And I might get some hate for saying this, but I honestly feel like Monty deserves better than Jasper. And that feeling kind of started in season 2 when Jasper and Maya started becoming a thing. It became obvious that Jasper was nowhere near as mature as Monty, despite the fact that they're the same age. I feel like Monty deserves better in a friend than Jasper, especially at this point when he's being blatantly rude to Monty. He's shoving him against a car. He flicks water in Bellamy's face. I mean, this kid is out of control, and someone needs to tell him to put on the brakes because, like, it's disrespectful, and I have a lot to say about it as evidenced by how passionate I'm getting. And I don't know, I feel like Monty deserves better, and I really hope that somebody steps up to the plate and becomes his friend. It seems like he and Bellamy are getting close, which is good because Bellamy is a really good big brother, and I think that he will kind of help Monty through this period of being alone. But Monty seems to be handling things pretty well for now, which I'm kind of glad, but also kind of sad because like he needs to deal with his feelings eventually. Don't hate me for this, but I really can't get on board the Abby and Kane shipper train. To be brutally honest, I did not like Kane in season 1, and now I like him, and I liked Abby in season 1, and now I do not like her. Mostly though, I'm just not feeling the Kane and Abby thing because I don't see chemistry that's very palpable. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really know how to articulate this. Like, sorry, my legs are cramping up. Maybe it's because they're so much older. I don't know. So yeah, can't really get behind Kane and Abby. Sorry if I'm disappointing anybody. Sorry also the lighting changed because it's like dark now. Also, Bellamy, my sweet little nerd boy. I really liked the scene when he was sparring with Lincoln, and then right after when he put his shirt on. There was a moment when he had his hands on his hips and he was like shaking his finger. He looked so much like a dad, only he has the face of like an adolescent boy. It just makes me want to go, ah, because like he's an adorable little child. He's really stepped into a leadership role that I'm very happy to see him in because ever since season 1 even, I've kind of recognized that that's something that he seems to be very well equipped to do. It's something he's born to do. It's something he's very gifted at. And to see him being in that position and using it for good as opposed to the whatever the heck we want days makes me really happy because he needs that. He needs a purpose. I'm really happy that he has one. Of course, I'd prefer if he was co-leading with Clark because, I mean, like, OTP, but I'll take what I can get for now. Not a big fan, speaking of OTPs, of the fact that he is kissing another girl. Gina seems like a sweet girl. I think that she's going to play some good part in this storyline. But I'm not happy because Bellamy belongs with Clark, in my opinion. I really don't see Bellamy putting a lot of effort into that relationship, honestly. I don't think he's doing it to be mean to her or to be distant and removed. I think that he just can't make himself be with someone. I think he's mostly just being with her for either A, a distraction, or B, just because she wanted to be in a relationship. I don't really know how to, articulate that, but that's my opinion on the whole thing. I was kind of sad to see that he was with somebody, but hey, at least she appreciates the fact that he's a nerd and gives him copies of books like the Iliad. I was also really excited to see that Indra was back. That made me really happy. I got really excited to see her. Indra is the queen of everything, and I was really happy to see her with Kane and Bellamy and Monty, who should not have been driving that car, by the way. The kid is like 15 years old. Indra is such an interesting character, and I really look forward to watching her story pan out. I kind of want to know what she's doing with Kane. Kane is sneaking out to go meet her. That's a bit shady. What you doing there? They need to listen to her more. At the end when the tree fell and she said it's been cut down and Bellamy's immediate response was, "You don't know that." I think she does know that. She's a leader of the tree people. Really, Indra? You make them listen to you. You have weapons. You have knives. Use them. And Kane offers her a gun and she's like, heck to the no. I don't want any part of this. I'm awesome. I have machetes. Final thing that I will say is that it was a true and pure joy to watch Jasper Jordan tackle Shawn Mendes. I don't know why, but something about, I don't have anything against Shawn Mendes, but it just made me laugh because, really? Only on the 100. The last storyline that was going on in the show was the Jaha / Allie / Murphy storyline. If you follow my Tumblr, you know that I'm very passionate about John Murphy. You also know that I'm very passionate about this storyline, and you will find out why in just a minute. First of all, Murphy's coping mechanisms do not exist. He should never be left alone again, because look at what happened while he was in the bunker. Do not leave him alone. He cannot be trusted with alcohol or isolation or solitude or very large TVs or music or really anything. Let's just not ever leave John Murphy alone again, okay? Because that was honestly really terrifying and really heartbreaking to watch. And the second time that I watched that episode, we had subtitles on, and when he walked through like the threshold of the mansion and he ran at Jaha to punch him, he growled something. During the first time I watched the episode, I didn't know what he was saying, but I saw in the subtitles the second time that he was saying, "You let me live." He was mad at Jaha because Jaha let him live. And I think about that a lot now. I mean, like, it's only been a day since I watched it and saw the subtitle, but I think about that a lot. 5 minutes before, we had seen him put a gun right here and try to get up the nuts to shoot himself and kill himself, and he didn't do it because he couldn't make himself do it. And yet he was angry at Jaha for letting him live. And I think about that a lot because it really speaks to him and who he is, like, and what is going on inside of him, that he won't pull the trigger. But if somebody else was going to pull the trigger, he wouldn't get out of the way. And that really hurts me because there's, I have known in my lifetime people like him who have had his feelings, and it makes me really sad to see that. But also, like, it's realistic, and that makes me happy. Like, do you know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm not being very clear about that. But I thought that whole sequence made me think a lot. Also, it's kind of weird that Isaiah Washington can carry Richard Harmon bridal style. My sister and I were sitting there going, dear God, this kid needs to eat his Wheaties. He's really scrawny if Isaiah Washington can pick him up. So supposedly Jaha and Ali converted some nuclear bomb into a power source. And now Jaha's claiming that he can go to the City of Light, when all he was doing was kneeling with his eyes closed, which leads me to believe that the City of Light is like some subconscious alternate dimension, or maybe it has something to do with drugs. I don't know, but I thought that the City of Light was a real place, but apparently it's not. I'm so confused by this whole City of Light thing right now. I feel like it's not even worth speculating because I don't even know what's happening. So Jaha is saying that he needs Murphy for something, which unnerves me because, like, why? You locked him in a bunker for 3 months, dude. Now you want him? Like, you should have pulled him out of the bunker and inserted him in the mansion. This is what made me so happy. This is probably, like, don't get me wrong, I love all these other characters, but this is what made me the happiest about the episode. And my sister can confirm this because I literally jumped out of my seat the first time that we watched it when it was airing on the 21st. I didn't watch the the supporting characters credits at the beginning because I was too focused on what was going on. But I didn't see that this actress was going to be there. But when there was a scene on the beach where Murphy said that he was planning to leave the island in the rowboat, and Jaha was trying to convince him to stay, and Allie was like, oh, he'll come around. And then we kept hearing that boat horn in the background. When the boat rolled up and Amori was there, I freaked out because she is my absolute favorite lady in the entire show. And I don't even care that that train thing went off because I'm fangirling right now. Amori is without a doubt my favorite character. I think that she's really interesting. I really like her shady ways. I like her morally gray attitude and intentions, I guess. I like that she's chaotic neutral. She's not chaotic neutral, but she's not lawful neutral either, but Murphy's definitely chaotic neutral. So they kind of balance each other out because she sort of grounds him in a way that he really needs to be grounded. Her smile when she saw him was everything. Like, I actually saved a photo of that gif. Someone gifted on Tumblr, and I saved a photo of it because it made me so happy. Like, they're my kids, and they found each other. So I'm really excited to see what part Amori plays in all of this because it's gonna be great. And they're my OTP. They're like those two and Bellamy and Clark are tied for #1 in the OTP train. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the premiere. There were a whole bunch of other things that I didn't really talk about because of time, but I hope you guys enjoyed this nonetheless. Sorry if I'm really bad at this. This is the first one I've ever done, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it made you smile. Please feel free to comment or talk to me on Tumblr about the show because I would love to meet more fans, and let's just scream about our space kids together. But I love you guys. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! It on Thursday, January 20th. Living downtown, y'all, I gotta love it. I actually watched episode number 1. Wow! Now Bellamy's alone and Clark is alone, and they're both sad, and Murphy is in a bunker drinking alcohol, which he's like 17. That's not smart. Don't give alcohol to minors, especially not John Murphy. Hang on, I need to get my thoughts together for a second. He's really stepped into a leaderly, is that a word? It is now.